Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition, another installment of hashtag Fade to Black. And this time I got my panel. So let's go ahead and introduce them to Anita Joke, aka Teach.
Good evening, everyone.
And my boy, Beast Johnson, and me, your gracious host, Donnell Lamonte Morris. Welcome to another show in these holidays. And before I continue, it's been talked about and it's been agreed upon with the crazy schedules that we all have. We're going to be only doing Mondays for hashtag Fade to Black. So we're just going to cut down on the show because Mondays I'm off and it works for everybody. So it's only on Mondays until further notice. And then also holiday season's coming up and a lot of us got plans. But before we go into the opening statements, what are y'all plans looking for this holiday season?
Haven't quite thought about it yet.
I'm making sure that my homeboys' grandmas remember my face and my name, so they cool with me popping in and then disappearing 20 minutes later with a plate. I'm just trying to set up a couple houses so I can holiday hop. Side note, if there's any ladies in the Greensboro, North Carolina area that don't have a man for the holidays and just want to come to the family with something nice, handsome, and strong on their arm.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies of Greensboro, or any ladies of that man that's feeling lonely for the holidays, peace is.
I travel. Look, we can make arrangements. Look, all I'm saying is we still got Christmas and New Year's. I know those are emotionally sensitive times for people. And there's someone that does not have a strong familiar base, meaning that most of them have gone home. It is only right that I extend this olive branch, if you will, to other lonely, disenfranchised individuals. You don't have to be alone. Side note, if you're tired of your in-laws and the grown folk asking when you're going to get married or bring somebody around, come holler at me. White women, if you want to make a damn statement at your next holiday events.
Hey, look, in the words of Nene Leakes, he said what he said. So let's go ahead to the opening statements. I will be the first at bat. Second will be Beast Johnson. And then we have Teach to wrap it up. So let me go ahead and get everything set up. And like they say, here we go. If I can find it, here we go. First of all, shout out to our sponsor, Cheddar Boy Popcorn. I will have their website strolling at the bottom. We appreciate them for sponsoring the show. They got brand new flavors out. They got the freaking Parmesan and garlic flavors. You need to go on Real Cheddar Boy popcorn.com as we speak. All right, so I've been watching this viral videos of this one guy from, I believe he's from Teachers Neck of the Woods of Detroit, this so-called professional, I forgot what you call those guys. He self-defense. He's a self-defense expert. And seeing his strategies, me being in the military, one of the things we got to be physically fit. We have to be ready for any type of situation. I'm saying it in layman's terms. And we train for those train through and for those scenarios. You train as you fight. But the advice that this guy is giving it blows my mind. How far people will go to get clout, to get famous. And I knew that he had a motive. Everybody have a motive. and what they're doing and why they're doing it, and goals as well. When this guy was answering to all of the backlash from actual experts and professionals in self-defense, he was going back. He actually he took off the comments from all his social media, so there's nobody can't comment on him. And he made a video just stating that this is him. This is his training, and it has saved people's lives. So, and I can't say yes, I can't say no. One thing I can say is this man still got people in his videos that he probably do pay, and he got a facility where he do all his training and all that stuff, and then he's still putting up and uploading all these videos. So I guess he has saved people's lives, and and it probably costs a pretty penny. But I just think it's hilarious that this generation would go to any lengths to try to shine up shit and think that it's something and sell it. But the sad thing is people will go out and buy it. But also I like how people who see these videos know that they are full of it, make fun of it. And if this guy get a hold of this video, I never knock anybody's hustle. If you're making money and you can sleep well at night, that's great. But I do have to say this in the words of President Biden: stop the malarkey. I think I can teach how to fight and self-defense much better than this guy. I think anybody, include that one uncle at the cookout that think he can fight any goddamn body and get in a fight with any damn body, but you never see him take a swing at nobody, can train people better than this guy. Just stop the malarkey. I wish I had your picture right here so I could show everybody, but I think hopefully everybody knows who I'm talking about. But make your money, but you got to stop the malarkey. This is a running joke that's missing the punchline. I see why I was going there. And that right there is my opening statement. Peace. I yield the floor.
Good evening, one and all. For my opening statement, don't be scared to go through hell to get to heaven. Don't be scared to do bad to get good. Pretty much meaning that when life hits you with a emotionally tumultuous situation that leads you to indecisive decision making, constant reevaluations, start listening to voices in your head that you shouldn't listen to. Always remember that if you're willing to go the extra mile, God will put somebody in this place. Because that's really all God wants at the end of the day. He just wants to see the effort. If you pray about something, he wants to see the effort that you really want, effort that you really need. And he'll put you in a position to get it. Sometimes that requires a little bit of bad upon your life. I'm quick to tell everyone that realizes and finds out that I've been to prison that it's actually one of the best things that happened to me. It's something I actually prayed for. Didn't technically pray to go to prison, but at that time I said, God, I am not capable of feasibly maneuvering my life, and I need you to reevaluate and reroute my course. Do what you need to do to put me in a better position and put me around better people. So he sent my ass to jail for 6 months. Ended up doing some prison time. Whatever. It was actually the best thing I needed. I needed that time in a situation in an environment that I couldn't get comfortable with in order to truly steel my mind to what I needed to do when I re-entered the world and remingled myself with civilized people. Some bad need to happen in order to get some good. Now, afterwards, me knowing that I don't want to go back to prison and I don't want to have to wash toilets after 34 different motherfucking grown-ass men, so I said, I'm not going back. But Lord forbid I'm put in a similar situation as before. I'm only willing to go back if I could double the amount. So as I said, I'm only going back for no less than 5 years. I mean, there's got to be something. It's got to be a situation. It's got to be a strong catalyst that made me and led me down that path. Because I refuse to go down that path. So when tempted upon it, I make it very clear that if I can't get the type of help that I need or be directed towards that help, then I will help myself as best way as I can. And someone who got initially charged with 4 felonies and got him to drop the 3 major ones without snitching on anyone, as well as only got charged for $5,000 worth of stolen product when that was not even a third of my average theft intake daily. Yeah, if I were to go back into the deuce of dirt, I'm pretty sure I'd be hella successful. And it's going to take a lot more Fed investigations and surveillances before they find me. But when I express that to people, that helpful energy finds its way too. So to summarize, never be scared to go through hell if you know that you deserve and have a place waiting for you in heaven. Sometimes that bad in your life is set up in order to make the rest of it a lot better, a lot more good. And with that, I yield the floor.
Good evening. We are into the 6th day of December, which means that we have 25 days left in this month before we embark upon 2022. We're going to say goodbye to 2021. And usually around this time of the year, people begin to reflect and evaluate their progress or lack thereof for 2021. And I'm not excluded. I am included in that. But uniquely for the past, I would say 6 years, around this time, I get a prophecy, if you will, or some people call it an unction and that kind of thing, premonition of what my year is going to be for 2022. Well, before I get to 2022, I want to say 2021 was a very good year for me. And I did things that I wouldn't even imagine to do. And I know that it was only by the divine hand of God that those things got accomplished in this body. So I'm thankful and I'm grateful for how the Spirit has led me and the lives that I have impacted in 2021. I met some wonderful people. And actually today I had an opportunity to meet with a young guy that is doing a book launch in the Gambia on January the 7th, 2022. And he invited me as a special guest speaker. And I had to humbly decline his offer. And he said, "Oh, but you must come." because I have talked about you so much. I'm going to have activists there. I'm going to have students there. I'm going to have people, and these people have been asking about you. There's no way that you cannot come to this event. He said more people are coming to see you, to meet you, than they are coming to meet me. And he said, and this is the one thing that touched me, and he said, we have a billboard with your picture on it. And I said, if I ever needed an ego inflator, he inflated my ego. Can you imagine? You're up in lights. You're on a billboard. So I asked him, please, I need to know that you're really true. So I need you to go and get a picture of that billboard. I want to see the ground and the stilts that's hiking it up in the air. I want to see this. And so he promised me that he would send me the picture, my picture, that's on the billboard in Gambia. And it's awesome because I've never been to the Gambia. And if you follow me, you may have heard me say that no matter what country I go into, that I have a huge welcome and reception. So that made my day. That made my day. But it goes to how you sow good seeds into people's lives. They don't forget you. And not only do they not forget you, they go ahead and they talk about you to other people to put that energy in them to want to meet you. So for 2022, I have just a vision of me being larger than life. And so today, hearing the news about the billboard is sort of a segue to what I am to expect in 2022. And those that know me, those that love me, I humbly submit myself to the universe to make the impact worldwide, feeding the people with food for their souls, that they may be uplifted, motivated, and inspired. That is the model in which I live. So everything that I do is going to be in vein with uplifting, motivating, and inspiring. So 2022, I'll also, they say a woman shouldn't tell her age, but in about 58 days is my birthday. And you know what? I'm going to tell my age. I will be 59 and fine as wine. Okay? I will be 59 and fine as wine. So I'm celebrating me. And each person should be in the mode of celebrating themselves. Celebrate yourself. Other people would chime in and celebrate with you. But like I said, 2021, I had a fantastic year. I had a journal article printed in the African Union's Echo magazine that was translated into 5 different languages. So you can read me in French, English, Kiswahili, Arabic, and German. Okay. Did I say French? Okay. But anyway, you can read whatever language, you can read it in 5 different languages. For me, that was a big accomplishment. And then there's so many other things, but it comes from 1, believing in yourself. 2, being self-determined. 3, exhibiting self-love. to all culminate into the fullness, the full body of yourself, being who you are and what you are. You don't have to stand to the left of yourself. You don't have to stand to the right of yourself. You don't have to stand behind yourself. And you don't have to stand in front of yourself. You just stand and be yourself, the fullness of who you were created to be. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited. I'm excited about the past. I'm excited about the present. And I'm excited about the future, because they all meet together in the same place. They all meet together in the same place. So with that, I will yield the floor.
Man, can I say that was empowering, Teach? Very empowering. I think everything you said has been empowering. You know, we have a history. You know, I was one of your students, and everything that you said, I even said on the show, even off the show, we have our conversations, and all the things you have said have either come to tuition, or I just remember that Teach told me about this. And I think I'm kind of would be speaking for Beast. I can say that he probably went through the same thing I did when hearing about you and hearing all the things you said and all that stuff. Not stepping on your toes, Beast, but yeah, Teach, I'm happy that 2021 was a great year for you. I mean, you went to freaking Africa. If you watch any of the shows that me and Beast did, like half the show was. You had your own segment when we talked
without being here.
Without being here, and people even ask, like, "Yo, where's Teach at?" We was like, "I'll be like, well, she's in Africa. She's living her best life, but only not just living her best life. She's the good word that she gave to me and Beason on the show. She's doing it down there, but they seen her in a much bigger light than what the States are showing her in. But on that, Teach." That really, you know, first of all, thank you for everything that you taught me and everything you've done for me, and also for you being on the show. Like I say, and I'm always going to continue saying this, you know, you was the inspiration of this show, and this is my payback for you, so that people can hear the good word from you, the teachings and all that stuff. You was the inspiration for this show. And once again, thank you. Anything you want to add, Beast?
You took all the words out of my mouth, so ain't much I can say. It sound like I'm trying to take over. Like me too.
Right. So, I want to. It's not something I want to talk about, but it just popped in my mind because me and Teach were talking about before the show. What is up with these school shootings?
It's time.
What's going on? I'm to a point where we always talk about black on black crime. We always talk about, you know, you got too many shootings that goes on in the majority black neighborhoods and all that stuff. But then when we have these school shootings, and definitely when they're not us or our kids, it's like a tragedy that we all have to be like, oh, it had to be something went wrong, and you know, this little kid was going through a lot.
Well, the only caveat of that, honestly, is some kind of tragic comedic truth of it. When black kids shoot each other or shoot up folk, they go to jail. But at least the black parents don't have to worry about getting arrested over their child shit. Now, when they do their school shootings, the first people they're looking for is the parents. If the parents still living, y'all going to jail. Off the rip. And they was doing it back in the day with the other ones. Every time this happens with a little white kid, get a hold of some strong firearms. The Yeah, where your mom and daddy at? They in the same house? Address. Oh, you killed them? Okay, well, ain't no point looking for them then. You just got to focus on you.
Chichi, anything you want to add? Because the reason, you had a case that happened near your neck of your woods. The parents were trying to try to go to Canada.
They found their ass a couple hours. They found them like some niggas running from the first 48.
Right. You know something? That case is so ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. But I don't know if they were trying to go to Canada, but people said that they were trying to go to Tennessee. But okay, I guess that's a northern joke. Basically pull white trash, Tennessee, Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah.
West Virginia, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but the tragedy is that the parents actually abandoned their child. Now think about it. When Pookie and Ray Ray do whatever they do, their mama gonna run down and try to bail them out.
Yeah.
This boy mama said, hey, you on your own. Me and your dad, we're fleeing the sea because we're guilty as hell as to training you and putting all of the negative philosophies of life inside your head. We recognize that we groomed you to do just what you did. But because of our skin, we will have psychologists on our side, and we will have him psychoanalyzed, and we will have him, said he wasn't mentally fit, he was having a bad day, and basically excuse away the behavior. But this boy took 4 lives. And 7 others are wounded, because initially it was 3 and 8, but now it's 4 and 7. And so the first thing I wanted to do. I can't hear you.
Said the mama, it just came out too. I just found out about that. One of the reasons why the mama got arrested was because she texted the boy prior to it and pretty much told him don't do it.
Yeah, they knew.
That shows prior knowledge of his actions and mental state.
Up to at least a week before, because they had rumors circulating around the school that he was going to do something. And, they was like, we addressed the concerns and just kitty pranks. So they just excused it away. And now they have 4 funerals to attend to, and a loss of life, loss of classmates. And, it was tragic. It was tragic. And, one second here, because I can barely hear you. Can you hear me?
We can still hear.
Yes.
Okay, I can hear you all better too. Okay. So I'm gonna make sure I get the right area. And so it's tragic. Someone made the point, while the kids were online, we didn't hear about any school shootings. So that's obvious.
Yeah, make a great point.
And so it's really terrible that this young guy was able to have these type of weapons, and no doubt he was trained on how to use them. I mean, he hit his targets. I don't know how many bullets he shot, but he hit his target. He hit 7 and 4 is 11 people. So whether they were the intended targets or he just shot who he could shoot because he was there. One point that I would like to bring up is that you always hear about this in the suburbs. You rarely, if ever, you hear about it in any of the inner city schools. And I'll say one of the reasons why, and I only speak for the school district in which I live, which is the Detroit public school system. and which I was a product of. My children were products, and my grandchildren currently attend Detroit Public Schools. And things have totally changed since the time I went to school and the time these kids go to school. And I actually had to go to my granddaughter's school a couple of weeks ago. And basically, you walk 2-3 steps inside the door where you have to disrobe and walk through the metal detector, and they go through your purse and bag and everything. So Detroit Public Schools is not playing with its students, and that's why you don't hear any of those type of upsetting news stories coming out of Detroit Public Schools. Now, I myself felt offended when I had to go to my granddaughter's school and practically get naked to go through the metal detector. But then now that I hear what's happening in the suburban schools where, they're open and free, I'm glad they have those metal detectors, and they have the security staff right there to confiscate and alert immediately. You cannot even get into the school until you come through clean. So what was offensive just because of my age, I can walk to school freely. And so when I went up to the school and seen how they had changed, and it's like you're going to jail or going to court or something. And I just didn't like that. But now, listening to the news, that's the best thing, because it keeps our children protected from themselves. If they're not thinking in the right capacity, those metal detectors help them think, get alerted that something is not right with this child. They have some weapons or paraphernalia on them that is not supposed to be in the school. So just looking at how the front end is protect the students, protect the staff. The Oxford schools, we're so free because we're the suburbs. Yeah, and they come in and kill up everybody.
Yeah.
And also too.
Yeah, go ahead, Beast.
Like, I agree with Teach on that end, but because I remember Columbine. Like, I was in high school when Columbine happened. So
elementary.
I remember the mindsets, and so I went to an all black school, urban schools, black schools, however you want to call it. The students and the staff were a lot more honest about life and take that into consideration when it comes to interacting with everybody on their site. So, when Columbine hit, we had a white dude at my high school. Everybody knew him. He was a senior at the time. Cool white dude. Like the type of white dude you would see be a loner in them high school 90s movies. He looked like that. But he wore a trench coat.
Ooh.
Yeah. And the teachers teachers kind of gave him flack for it or whatever, but enough of the students just came to him cause we fucked with him. We knew what it was. We knew we never had to worry about that with him. Like, even if he had shit going on in his personal life, we knew we never had to worry about that with this particular dude. So we just came to him and was like, I know I did one time, and was like, hey, bro, you know everybody don't think that, right? He was like, yeah. But it don't help the fact that it's June and you walk around here in the all black trench coat, especially after what happened. Just put it away so teachers won't be so goddamn hyped. Cause we cool, nobody Chuck, we talk about it. Everybody talk. Every black school talks about the weird kids, and we make sure that everyone in the school knows about the weird kids, so that everybody that has a companion, compassionate heart will make sure that weird kid doesn't get to that level.
Yeah.
Cause I had a whole bunch of them, and them motherfuckers was my best friends, and I let everybody know, hey, I'm making sure that Lord forbid that day happen, he gonna give me the heads up.
That's true.
He gonna tell me either not to come to school or I might want to go off campus for lunch. Either way, I know I'm gonna live.
Yeah.
He's not gonna shoot me if he's up on the 3rd floor with a sniper. He gonna catch you niggas. He know who talk about.
Right.
But he know I know he weird, but he also know I fuck with him. So I ain't worried about getting shot.
Yeah.
That's how we diffuse them type of situations. That's why the teachers do their job, but on the social interaction from the student aspect, we make sure that they're not truly ostracized. You're known, yeah, people ain't gonna fuck with you, but enough people here fuck with you to make sure scattered across the different grades, enough people know you and don't have a problem with what you're doing. So there ain't no real purpose just coming through here randomly shooting up school because you know you're gonna fuck around, hit somebody you cool with. So ain't no point, my nigga.
Right. And so to what teaches story about the metal detectors and the high alert that the security guards is, it just took me back to TSA. You know, they goodness. Yeah. Since I'm in the military, I got the pre-check. So only thing they just tell you to take your book bag and put everything in your book bag and just push it on through. While everybody who's in the regular freaking TSA line, all the things Teach was saying they was doing. And it's crazy that school is doing that, but you saw the method to the madness, you know, you saw the reason of the madness, you know, is to not have what happened in Columbine. Definitely in a black school, because you know, let's all be for real on this show, like we always do. But let's go all the way beyond 100 right now. What happened with that kid? If that kid was black in a black school, I don't even think the media would be, and if they were up in arms about it, they would say it in a way of, yeah, you expected that. Look at the neighborhood that they're in. I can hear it now. Look at the neighborhood.
That would never. You got a better chance of a black, like you say right there. Look at the neighborhood. You got a better chance of hearing a mass shooting or a blanket assault like that in a black neighborhood versus a black school.
They would say it was a gang shooting, and
if it was school, they'd definitely say that.
They would say it would have been a gang shooting, and then find out that the kid was not affiliated with no gang. So then they probably would corroborate a story saying that, well, he was surrounded by a lot of gangsters. His family, ran a trap house and all that stuff. And it could have been just their family just having a lot of people over there and having a good time, whatever, what have you. And it will blow my mind just to hear the media just be so nonchalant about it. Let's use the famous Chicago. Now imagine if a school shooting in an all-black school happened like that. They will report that as much as they report the killings in Chicago. No. And that's the
mass gang shooting erupts into the school system.
Mm-hmm. And then they will be blaming. Yeah, they would be blaming the mayor Lightfoot. They would be blaming the current chief of police over there. They would be blaming. Then you would hear where there's the father's not in the household. That's the biggest issue. That's the biggest problem. You got too many single parents out there, single mothers that don't know how to raise their kids, and da 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 da. I can hear it now, but now.
Yeah, the mother and father just, they were strung out on some kind of drugs. But
right.
I want to give big props to the Detroit Police Department.
Woo!
Because we have what's called the green light. And the green light are businesses that have willingly participated with the Detroit Police Department, and they have cameras on their businesses. Now, these cameras, from what I understand, they are bad. Okay? Meaning that they got a tip of their license plates, and from one block to the next block to the next mile to the next mile to the next neighborhood. They were able to track them down.
Damn.
Detroit is not playing. You can go from the east side to the west side, and they can pick up the footage from all those stores from where you started from. And I think it was my cousin that told me about this before this actually unfolded, because his brother had gotten killed. And the way they found the killer, they basically found the killer. They were able to track the killer coming out of one house. He came and killed my cousin, and then they tracked him right to where he, I guess, lived or stayed or whatever. So they connected all of that footage from the time that man left the house, murdered my cousin, and got back. So if you want to do some crime in Detroit, they gonna see you.
Good luck.
That's worse than damn cell phone towers right there.
Yeah.
They're gonna see you, okay? And so I was elated when I heard, and it's been a big debate. How could these parents go and withdraw $4,000 out of the ATM machine? So there's been a lot of chatter about that, because most banks have a lower limit. And then someone posted that some
banks,
banks
upfront stuff. You had to go inside and do that. You definitely know it's in here.
Yeah, some banks will allow up to $5,000 withdrawal from the ATM. So they were well within the limits, but we don't know what ATM machine, what bank they were with. We just know that they made a ATM withdrawal of $4,000, and they were going to flee. But before they were going to flee, they stopped down into a Detroit neighborhood to buy some drugs.
Oh man.
and then when they go to court, of course they plead not guilty.
I ain't gonna say I ain't done that for a road trip to myself, so
I know, but you're on a road trip. But they weren't doing a road trip. They were fleeing justice.
I know.
They were abandoning their son.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I understand the logic behind the action. You're going to be on the road for more than 3 hours.
Look, you could have made the hassle go to McDonald's and get a cheeseburger.
Well, unfortunately, they don't have a McDonald's for drugs. The day they do, it's gonna be like the 1900s in this bitch. Free prohibition.
But see, they should have went on and bypassed Detroit if they were going south. They should have went on into Lower Michigan and got their drugs there.
Oh yeah, Lower Michigan, yeah.
Where they don't.
Some people
have the green light.
Don't like to pay that convenience fee.
No, but they were on their way. I mean, what I'm saying is they were on their way. Billy Bob could have put them up for the night. They would have had an underground railroad had they got beyond the Detroit green light district.
All I'm gonna say is this: after working around carnies, like I said, if you're traveling more than 3 hours, have some drugs on you. I mean, if that's what you do, have some drugs on you.
I mean, but seriously, all they had to do was drive 30 more minutes, because Detroit is only 60 minutes from the Ohio state line. So they just could have drove 30 more minutes into Lower Michigan, picked up what they want to pick up, or they could have drove 1 whole hour and got into Upper Ohio and got what they needed and got on their way.
I am not disagreeing by any means. Am I disagreeing with Teach is telling 100% facts. But for those of us that have to buy over the counters on the corner. Sometimes the difference between cities, you know, the chances to run upon somebody to give you 35 for an eighth in a whole new city.
They could have went next door to where they live and got all the drugs they needed.
And it might have cost them an extra $80 too. I'm telling you, druggies are very fiscally responsible when it comes to getting their drugs.
Look, hold on. I agree with both of y'all.
I don't know about none of that. I'm just saying, my point is, those people were stupid and they had a stupid kid. A menace to society.
Once again, everything you say is correct.
Right.
It's just when they come to that one point, I just kind of sit back and get tickled. Like,
look, both of y'all are correct. Both of y'all are right. My thing is this. I got to use the analogy of being in the freaking scary movie. When you sit there running from freaking Jason, you're not going to sit there and stop and be like, oh, look at the nice looking deer. Like, who does that? Like, who does that?
No. You're supposed to happen a con. You're like, hey, man. Hey, I heard these woods. There's an old hippie weed farm that they used to have back in the 60s that the government confiscated. We're going to find it in these woods tonight. Oh, shit, dude, we found it. We're going to be fucking rich. Slice. Steve. Turn around. Netflix.
Look,
that's how it happens.
Look, I mean, I'm sorry to make it about history, but like even Harriet Tubman said, keep on going. When you got people that was afraid, what the hell she did? She said, I'm going to shoot your ass if you don't.
You know why? You know why? Because Harriet was smart enough to have her stash on her before she decided to leave.
I mean, I just don't get it.
She already knew months ahead of time. Let me go ahead and put me a little bit of smoke to the side. Time's gonna get tough. Need some cherry apple tobacco and some of that engine weed.
But really be this. But really be this. You're in trouble. You are on the run. Most wanted. Why in your mind you just want to be like, hey, I need to be high for this.
Well, you know something. You know what I'm thinking? I can't climb into the mind of a person that uses drugs, but I'm thinking about the fragile white female and that, you know, she may have been nervous and, you know, the whole thing was stressing her out. And her husband said, hey, I'm going to go get something to calm your nerves so we can come.
You're halfway. You're halfway there. You're halfway there, Teach. You're halfway there. The true truth of it is, anyone that indulges in adult vices, whether alcoholic, medicinal, or self-medicated, and you are in a litigious matter that will resort in more than 24 hours of jail time, well, this is what they call that last one for the road, last call, bar closed in 5 minutes.
And I bet you,
and a lot of you,
they're a modern day Bonnie and Clyde. Next week, there's going to be a series on Netflix detailing the whole life.
Oh my God.
Okay? These people going to become rich because of this mess. Now, I'm telling you, next week.
They can't because the law doesn't allow an individual to make monetary gain off of murder. Meaning, like, if they could have proven that OJ actually did it, under the law, he would not be able to legally write a pseudo-factual tell-all book saying, what if I did do it? But I could write a book about it, about the information from the trial and everything, and paint whatever kind of narrative I want. I could do that and be good. But
okay, so Let's change the name.
They names gonna be famous. They names gonna be famous.
Change it to Michigan to Pennsylvania. And guess what? Next week, like I said, it's gonna be a series on Netflix. We're gonna change the name, but the event's gonna be the same. And they're gonna put a disclaimer. This is not in any way associated with real life. Right. And it makes some money.
Look, fictional names.
Lifetime. Yeah. Definitely before it hit Netflix, it's definitely gonna be a Sunday evening special about a troubled young boy with a dark intentions and a mother's will.
I think they will come from the aspect of the mother and father. I think they will focus on their relationship and towards the end of the series. And then towards the end of the series, they had this little boy, and boom, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Everything was so good. Until it wasn't.
Because you remember, I think it was last year or the year before that they already talking about the DC Sniper, but they saying it from the kids' point of view. They already got they did a documentary on that. So I'm not even disagreeing with anything y'all say, because if it's not with all those platforms that y'all just mentioned, Amazon Prime is definitely going to do something. Amazon is definitely going to put somebody on that. Yeah.
These writers are writing.
Yeah.
These writers are writing. They're hiring actresses and actors. They're hiring composers for the music. They're getting directors and producers.
It's sad that T says this, but and that's why I love the fact that I like movies and I'm a visual person, because most of the comedic, satirical, kind of quote unquote meta movies, they tell the most truth. They tell you exactly how the fucking government is getting down. They will paint this illustrious illusion around it so that you don't fucking realize that the actions, the motivations, even down to the dialogue, is actual truth being put in front of you. But instead of a human being, a real human being that instead of Al Pacino, it's Al Pacino playing this fictional role that's actually based on factual information and factual real life individuals, but you can't put it about them. So you got to play it and mix it around. It's the same way with parents that mash up the vegetables and sweets with the baby to get them to eat it. They can't take the whole pea. They can't take the whole corn. You got to mash that thing down. Throw a little applesauce in to make it taste sweet too. And they eat that shit right the fuck up. That's what most of these movies is doing when it comes to truth.
And then also you got to think about the shows too. Like when you were explaining that, like Snowfall. People don't know that Snowfall is based upon Freeway Ricky Ross. We're not talking about the hip hop star. We're talking about the Freeway Ricky Ross that was throwing that snow all up through the West Coast, including up here in freaking Seattle. But mainly
the little white boy from Everybody Hates Chris that plays the agent. Yeah, that was a real dude. They just now really talk about how the CIA did what the fuck they did, but the government has spent the years in between distancing the CIA from the perception of the government. They're an offshoot facet of the government. The FBI, that's government. The CIA, it's like a third party.
It's like an independent government, but not government entity. I understand what you're saying. So, and here's another thing too. To put Snowfall together with Narcos. That's why I like Narcos, because Narcos explain even deeper on the South American side and the Mexican, because that's where the Contras was getting all that money. And I'm gonna tell you, like because I'm gonna tell you, the first
COINTELPRO,
Intel Pro or something like the Intel Pro. The crazy thing about that series is definitely the first two seasons. And those were mainly surrounded in Columbia, South Carolina. Hear me, South Carolina? No, because
it probably is Columbia, South Carolina.
Columbia, South America. Here's the thing: there was always that one agent that came from the CIA. You know, anybody had that one employee that just know everything about everything. Could be have the same, like for me in the military, the same rank or the same position as you, but he or she
just
knows
everything.
Much. Just knows everything about the business. They know when somebody's gonna get fired. They know when they're about to do a change or something and all that stuff. It was this one agent that was always there because the main character, who was also a CIA agent, every time when he goes to the place where he's assigned to, that CIA agent was always there and knew everything. And he told him exactly the timelines of what's going to happen. He said, this was going to happen. You're going to go over here. Yep. And that house going to get raided. Then this going to happen. 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 And that CIA agent wasn't listening to him. The other one, the main character, he wasn't listening to him. He was like, how you know so much? I don't believe it, until eventually it finally happens. And when everything in the dust settled, dude is right there saying, I told you so. I told you so. And Beast, and when you made that description of shows, you can also put shows like Snowfall and Narcos together, because the government had, because once again, it goes back to the war on drugs, or underlying, aka war on black people, because all them drugs,
aka Operation Kill the Nigger.
Yeah. And they gave all that money to the Contras for their war, knowing that they was pushing drugs. What are we gonna do with all this cocaine? Well, let's go ahead and just sell it. What about this young brother right here? Yeah, like what about this young brother right here? Freeway Ricky Ross, the legend is born, and he was just slinging the drugs. And did also in Detroit, where the drugs was getting up there to them. You had I've got the gay name, but I knew they called themselves Motown. I've got that freaking gay name, but they was called the Motown Gang or something like that, and they was doing the same exact thing. And the crazy,
let's be honest. If you look at if you really pay attention to American Gangster, knowing what we know now about the government's involvement, you're not about to sit here and tell me that his light-skinned cousin was the only person, even aside from the dudes that he paid, excluding them, that he was the only military or government official that was involved or knowledgeable about Mr. Frank Lucas' enterprise. You're not going to sit here and tell me that it was just Frank linking up with his cousin, who happened to be over there in high ranking, and nobody above him or equal measure knew what the hell was going on too. You're not about to sit here and tell me that.
Yeah. I mean, you have, see, people got to understand, when you got power, it's not just that one person with power. You got to have people around you to influence that power, to make it happen. Because like for example, I'm gonna use Teach going down there to Africa. She had to have good people around her to make that mess happen. You know, she's not gonna go down there I'm just saying, if the price wasn't right. She gonna have people to make sure that the price is right. This is why I asked for it. This is what I'm expect to get, and those people gonna make sure that that's gonna happen. And like for you, Beast, when you go to a free, or before you pick a place to do your concert, you gonna have your people be like, "Hey, what's your number? This is my number." They go and they make that shit happen. And people fail to understand that. They just think it just is one person that make things happen, which is part true, half true. But it's the people around him or her that really makes it happen, because they're like, look, this is what I want. If I don't get what I want, this is what I want to happen, so I can get what I want. Because at the end of the day, they're going to get theirs too. As long as Big Boss is happy, we all happy. When he eat, we all eat. And that's the simple fact. That's a simple thing with all of this. And I mean, it's just crazy that when we think about the war on drugs, because we kind of shifting gears. When we talk about the war on drugs, which is still going on today, and then you had the coke, the crack epidemic, and now you got the what's this new one called? I had it in my freaking head.
It's the pill poppers now.
Something like that, and now all of a sudden, opioid epidemic. But everybody want us to be like, oh my goodness, this is an epidemic. You know, we got the opioids, and you got a lot of Black people who came from that era, who sobered up, or who just saw their families kill themselves because of the rock, are looking like, why should we care? You didn't care then. Like, if anybody, once again, going back to what Beast was talking about with movies, New Jack City. People literally think, oh, this is just happening in New York City. Oh, no. If you saw the end of the movie, you know, like Teach said about the fictional characters and names, there was like, Nino Brown does not exist, but there are a lot of him, I'm paraphrasing, in every major city, which is true.
Yep.
But people just thought that this was just happening in New York City. Virginia. Oh, my gosh. I didn't even realize I was surrounded by freaking drug dealers.
Utah.
Utah, and see,
Nebraska,
North Carolina,
Iowa, Wyoming.
We had a drug dealer that led to police corruption.
It can be found in all 50 states.
Anywhere. Yeah.
And territories.
and with all of that being said, here's the cold part. The biggest drug dealer, well, actually two of them, but one is synonymous to me. The biggest drug dealer in all of the United States, and people need to be real about it, and they need to have this conversation, was Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan.
That motherfucker pushed no dope than a little bit.
Ronald Reagan, with the much drugs that he was pushing, he will probably be, who knows? He probably got his cut under the table, untouched. Who knows? His wife Nancy, because I watched I watched the documentary about him. I didn't finish it yet.
I think all them jelly beans he had was cocaine in them. That's why he liked them so much. That's my theory.
Because the crazy thing is, people didn't understand his wife was running the show. He was just, I'm the president, but I gotta get everything through Nancy. So who knows? He was probably getting that money undercut. Or remember that Star Wars that he was trying to launch? And it was a failed project with all the money that he was put into it. Where did all that money go?
Jesus.
These are things, you know, that had me thinking, like, all the stuff that he was doing to this country around a time where freaking me and Beast was not even conceived.
I was raised in the midst of all that mess.
And only thing we can talk about the biggest drug deal, we talk about Pablo Escobar. I was actually thinking about how much money that dude made when he was alive. He made over 10,000 a day. Some people say, well, actually, tell you the truth, he was actually making a lot more by the hour, and he didn't have a 9 to 5. So imagine
Escobar was out there,
right? And imagine. Just imagine.
Well, he probably wasn't the richest, though. You know why I say he's not the richest?
Why is that?
Because he got caught. I feel like the old thing about criminals or motherfuckers that actually like will do some dirt. But when you say, well, it's only a crime if you get caught. Meaning, if I'm out here selling dope, you're only gonna know I'm a dope dealer the day I get caught.
Yeah.
So he's the richest known incarcerated, caught, dope dealer. Because I'm pretty sure there's like somebody out here that made like still alive today that makes 10 times as much as Escobar did.
And Beats, and that's what I'm about to get to. And that's exactly what I'm about to get to. You're the president of the United States. You can basically just go on network television and you can say a war on Christmas, but you pick the war on drugs, what your meaning is war on black people, which leads to people, black brothers and sisters that want to live up to the Escobar dream. They say we want to make that Escobar money. I want to make that money where, you know, I can't clean majority of it. I just hide it in my house. I hide it in my freaking trap houses. When Reagan started to see all the brothers and the sisters making all that money, because, you know, they would flash you with it. Like I said, if y'all watch Snowfall, you see his cousins and his girlfriend. They always wore the freaking robes. They always drove the fancy cars. And when Reagan was like, oh, okay, they get too big for that.
You niggas think you doing something. Right. You niggas think you doing something.
Bust them. Like, Beast, you probably heard about this group. Black Mafia Family.
Everybody know about BMF.
Big Meech.
Like BMF is one of those organizations like the Lucas organization, like the Nicky Barnes organization. You'll fuck around and find out some shit about members in your family that you ain't never know about folk in your neighborhood. Because those three in particular were so vast as far as they employees and connections. It's old folk and like single moms that I lived around. I was like, oh, nice lady, cool, kind of mean or whatever. And then you find out her and her mama was some of the folk that got locked up with Nicky Barnes when he fucked around the snitch. And the same will go for all these drug dealers. A lot of these drug dealing organizations, you know about them because either somebody in your family, somebody you live around, or somebody you're cool with was themselves involved or they peoples was involved. So that's how you know.
Right. And so I want to say this, and I'm going to bring everybody in on this one. The point that I'm getting at is even the person that is the front runner to all of this, Ronald Reagan, and then he started to see people that don't look like him started to, with what I believe this with anything. When we finally figure it out, they will find a way to destroy it. Tell me if I'm wrong. Look at Black Wall Streets, all the chocolate cities that was around here. It seemed like when we finally figured it out, we finally know what's happening, what's going on. We finally got the freaking earth under our feet now. We're not even walking no more. We're running. We're not even running. We're sprinting. We're not even sprinting. We're full steam ahead. Nothing ain't stopping us. But then they will always do something to just make us trip and make us fall. Tell me if I'm wrong.
No. But it's kind of our fault too. Because we get complacent. And when we get complacent, we get comfortable. When we get comfortable, we start getting careless. Once we're careless, we're allowed to get caught up in some bullshit. We don't remain ever vigilant. We always feel like, all right, we're going to get to this point. And then at this point, we feel as though we're good and those around us should see that we're good. So we shouldn't have to worry about the things that initially drove us to this progression. Nah, you ain't never good just because it's not there in front of you don't mean it's not around the corner or not tucked off in the back somewhere hiding, posted up waiting. It's always going to be there. So we can still, like, well, basically what I'm saying is we can get back to that point. We can progress from that point. We can expand from that point. We just have to remember as Blacks, there's always some fucked up ass white energy or some fucked up ass self-hatred energy flowing around. So no matter how far we progress forward, we must never forget that past which defined us and led us upon this path.
Yeah. Yeah, we get deep on this war on drugs, and I mean, because Nixon, he was the first one to start it, and then Ronald Reagan started back up again, and I mean, if we're gonna sit there and talk about drugs and the history of it, and every time when you hear anything about a drug lord, they look like us. We have to be for real. The real people that were the real drug dealers was Reagan. Put his ass right there. I guarantee you, if I put that photo right there, this is what a drug dealer looks like. I guarantee you, I will be in Facebook jail. Hands down.
I wouldn't give a damn.
Yeah, I will be in Facebook jail probably for about a month and all that stuff. And I probably would not regret it none whatsoever. But Teach, if I can drag you in just for a little bit, because you lived through when the war of drugs was just getting in the law. What is your take from that?
I was just a little kid. I didn't know what they were talking about.
So what about the crack epidemic?
It didn't affect me.
Oh shit!
I was coming through high school. I mean, you know, I come from a family of very my grandmother didn't believe in drugs. She didn't associate it with drug addict people. She ain't associated with people that were strung out on drugs. That was not our life. I couldn't say, well, so-and-so will use drugs or so-and-so. I didn't know those people. And really, I think I was 35 before I knew anyone personally that indulged.
Oh wow!
So I feel like I came through a bubble. It was a parental guidance bubble. You didn't do drugs. You didn't associate with people with drugs. If you wanted something out of your life,
that's the bubble.
And so I, you know, I was never tempted. None of my friends never said, hey, you know, I think they called it reefer or marijuana back in the day. And nobody ever offered me reefer, marijuana, nothing. I think I was like 35 before I even smelt weed.
Dang, Cheech, you just hit on another point too.
So it really depends on your home environment and your neighborhood. It was not in my neighborhood.
And see, you hear another point too, Teach, because there was a lot of rich white folks that was taking this drug, including the powder. And it just, media didn't even cover it. It was like a fart in the wind. And people say it was, and they was even saying it, powder cocaine, the rich drug. But then when it came to the rock, but then when it came to the rock cocaine, well, crack, where they can just baking soda and ice, you put in a pot and you stir it. Then it became
look at the wrist. Look at the wrist.
And that's when it became a problem. And if you just sit back and just realize now we're in the opioids and it's really hitting the white population hard, even though you don't hear it too much because of COVID, but still it's still there. But now they want the world to stop and notice that we're having a problem. They are strung on this drug and it's a problem. And once again, I go back to what I said earlier. You have people that lived through it, or just like Teach, like you saying, you was in a parental bubble and it took you all the way till you was 35 to understand, like, oh shit, like damn, that happened to you. You got people like that.
You know what I find funny about the opioid issue?
Mm-hmm.
Hello? You know what I find funny about this opioid pandemic we have right now? The whole issue about pharmaceuticals and pharmacology. I go back and I'm thinking, war on drugs. I was saying most these pills, white folk been popping pills at least 20 years before they was really snorting cocaine. And before they figured out cocaine could be turned into crack. Before they was indulging in the madness that is reefer. They were popping Quaaludes.
No, before they came from Europe, they were snorting cocaine. That's
aristocrats was like probably like America.
That was always a thing. They brought cocaine from Great Britain and any other place that they dwell. But you never
like as far as an American. I feel like I know me hearing about drugs and throughout history and cinema and everything. I remember them discussing and always being a more like I remember them doing the diet pills and like I said, that's how I learned the word Quaaludes and barbiturates from watching old history films talking about them popping pills back in the 50s. Mm-hmm. How they would do that for the housewives and shit. So I'm like, y'all talking about y'all got an issue with popping pills, but y'all been popping pills long before y'all was snorting and shooting. Like in America. And I mean across the board, because like T said, cocaine was brought over by the British aristocrats. That's where it gets the fame and glamour about it. Because you had to be rich in order to have good cocaine or cocaine at all. Then only rich folk had cocaine. So if you had cocaine on you, nigga, you got money.
Yeah, you doing something. You doing something.
That was the whole mentality. Like I said, it was brought over by the aristocrats. But that's why it was always deemed the rich man's drug, the elegance and self-indulgence.
And then crack.
Crackhead.
Then crackhead.
And you niggas fucked it up. Yeah. That's how white folks taught to think.
Because then
we gave you cocaine and you turned it into crack. Mm-hmm, can't give you beers.
And now they're saying that we're not making money with the powder. They're making it out of the freaking, like I said, ice and freaking baking soda. I'm not gonna buy this high-end.
Ice, baking soda, and a compressor.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna buy this high-end shit no more. I'm gonna get the cheap shit. If you in New York, you're not gonna be going to freaking First Ave to get your cocaine. You going downtown.
You might go downtown to the liquor store.
Yep, you going down to the liquor store where you see Trey at the corner just waiting for you to get that cheap, affordable high. And then you can go back and you can tell your friends about it.
It's just economic. Man, I went and got me some crack, got me a fifth of Thunderbird, got me a pint of goddamn Johnny Walker, stopped at McDonald's, went and got me 3 packs of Marlboro and a pack of Newports. The hell, I still got $27 left.
Well, shoot. Speaking of that,
you can't say this in
there. No, you can't. So we have hit. Go ahead, Teach.
Well, maybe I'll save it for my final thought.
Well, shoot, we right there at the final point, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and be the first one.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect time.
Well, I want to talk about this Omicron variant of the virus and how just how racist this virus is, or the racist perception that they're trying to give the virus. Ever since the coronavirus came out, they have always tried to make Africans, African Americans, people of Negro blood around the world, the poster child for this virus. And what has happened is it's not happening. They're scratching their head saying, well, the Africans aren't taking the virus seriously. They're not taking the vaccines. Their people aren't vaccinated. but yet their people don't have the virus. Okay? So with this Omicron, it was the Omicron. So they printed it wrong and had me going off on a tangent, but it made sense to me. Because see, I seen a news article and they said Omnicron. So I said omni. I said, what is the Latin root word for omni? So the Latin root word is all, everything exclusive, nothing excluded. And then cron means time or all time. I said, oh, so they created a variant that says that we're going to kill everybody.
We're going to get all y'all. You're going to get this COVID one way or the other now.
Right.
I like it. And I want to be in you.
I was
get
corrected.
Regular, we're going to get Delta, or we're going to get Omicron. But this COVID going to get inside you now, boy. How you want?
Some kind of way, okay? Yeah. And so I seen another article and somebody corrected me. It's Omi and not Omni. And so it gives a totally different meaning, but cron still means time, okay? But anyway, my point being that it was the scientists in South Africa that spotted it. But what did they do? They turned it around and did that reverse projection. Oh, South Africa spotted it. So let's say it's coming from South Africa and let's shut down the whole Southern Africa. We're just going to shut them down. So you had some Black people saying, yeah, shut us down because we want the Wakanda. We want to get rid of y'all anyway. So yeah, shut us down, and we can begin to build our own Wakanda. Okay, you shut us down, keep your interests off of us, and we'll grow and develop as we so see fit. But so they were trying to say that it came out of South Africa. And this is how the media really panders to the unlearned, all right? There was reports that 2 people coming from Nigeria returning to Canada, Canadian citizens, they have the Omicron, right? So they shut all the airports down from Nigeria. Now you all know I just got back from Africa, right? I went to three different countries. And what happens? First of all, just like I was saying about the Detroit public schools, you take 2 steps and you right there and you got to go through the metal detector. Well, in the African airports, unlike our airports, right at the front door, you have to show your papers that you have tested negative for the coronavirus. So if they came from Nigeria, that's one point, their COVID test was negative because Nigerians, Togolese, Burkina Faso, people in Cameroon, they are not playing with the virus. You have to be negative to get on that airplane. Okay. So let's just say they had a negative test to get on the airplane. The second point is this. Where's 2? The second point is this. If you travel internationally, you know that route is the slave route. You have to go from Africa into Europe, and from Europe you come into North America. Okay, they still follow that triangular trade route. So what do we know about the European airports? They're just like the Oxford School. Because what? Turkey Airlines, 3 weeks ago, flew a man from Turkey into Germany. He got on the airplane with no COVID test, but he had his vaccination card. And when he arrived in Germany, everybody got off the plane but him. Why didn't he get off that Turkish airline plane? Because he died of COVID.
Got sent up to the upper room.
Okay. So he died of COVID. He got on the plane in Turkey. Didn't show a negative COVID test. He went to Germany and he died. They did an autopsy and they reported that the reason why he died, even though he was double vaccinated, he had an active live COVID in his system. Now, why do I mention this? Because it was in the news. Yeah, he was double vaccinated. Okay. Now, what do I know? I actually took Turkish Airlines back from Africa. I came from the country. When I got at the airport, the first thing you show is your COVID test. They don't even want your passport at this point. They just want to know, are you infected or not? And not only do they you show them your test, which has a code on it, okay? And they ask you for the code. They look at your paper there, yeah. Now give me the code. They put the code in the electronic system and pull your results up. Because anybody can come with a piece of paper.
That's true.
All right? So you are double coded. You can't even get through there unless they can pull up your results. They had to sign off on my COVID test twice before I even got to the ticket counter to show them, my ticket and get on the airplane. So again, if you left Africa with the COVID and got to your home country of Canada, I had to think that you were a carrier of the COVID. And your purpose of being in Africa was to spread it. Because no Africans got that COVID. So no Africans had this COVID, but now you got it in Canada and you just came from Africa. Something's not clean in the milk.
Make sense.
So if Nigeria, talk about Nigeria specifically, if Nigeria break out with COVID, we know those two individuals that went there and put it in the country. Because nobody has COVID. But now they have it in Canada. And then this Omicron, it has shown up in Belgium. They have high rates of it. High rates of it in Israel. They say, we can't shut Israel down because we'll seem like we're anti-Semitic. But they got these high-ass rates. And they're coming into America, going all over the world. Africa, who simply reported the virus because they're testing. Their people don't have it. But you shut them down and shut them out. See, it's just too Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles and Helen Keller can see through that.
And one of them was still alive.
Right, they can see through that. So you have to put your thinking caps on. Anytime I've gone through Europe, I've had, I think the slowest or the lowest layover time I had was 2 hours. So anywhere from 2 hours to 17 hours, you're in that airport. So what's happening? I'll speak about the Turkey airport. People run around with no mask on. Definitely when I go to get on a flight, I never have to show my COVID test again until, never. I had to show it in Africa. When I got to Europe, or Turkey to make my connecting flight, nobody asked me for my test. When I get to the United States, nobody asked me for my test. Now I know as of November 8th, they're changing it where you have to get tested. So they're beginning to ask, but look at how they try to make Africa the face of this Omicron. Now they had to come back. The WHO said, "Oh, well, the Omicron is out there, but it's not doing the devastation that we really anticipated because we're really finding that the Omicron is the mildest of all the variants. So let's go ahead and open back up the African countries for flight." Let's open it back up. Yeah. But they meant it. And see, this is where my spiritual beliefs comes in. They meant for it to go into Africa and just create all kind of widespread devastation. But God said no. But look at the map and see who has the Omicron, whatever they want to call it, and see who's suffering from it. And that's not Africa. And they still scratching their heads. Well, how come we keep trying to kill Africans? We just keep trying to kill them, but ain't nothing working.
Hey, it's to me, it's just like the coyote trying to get
road running. You cannot kill what you did not create.
Yeah. You keep on knocking, but you can't come in.
I also have another testimony. Then I'm gonna shut up. You remember I brought back the Artemisia tea that that the WHO and the CDC is trying to say that it doesn't work on the coronavirus when it won the Nobel Peace Prize of Medicine because it cured the SARS virus in 2015. So, of course, I stacked up on some and I had been taking it. And you all know that I had lost a little bit more weight. And different people that I shared it with, they started taking the tea. And they like, "Oh, I'm just losing weight." So it is a weight loss tea as well. A friend called me today and said, "I can't drink any more of this tea." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because I put a hole in my belt. And when I went to walk, my pants fell down around my waist." He said, "I'm losing weight." And he's only been taking the tea about 10 days.
Hey, Teach, where did you found that tea? Where can I find it at? I forgot. You said it and I forgot where.
Well, I brought it from Cameroon. You can get it off of eBay or Amazon or whatever have you. But I can vouch for this
supermarket. I feel like they probably
it's a
they got an international global market.
I'm doing another order. I'm having the lady order me some because what I found is that there's different derivatives, different plants, and it really can be grown in different soils. But I know the one that came from Cameroon. I can vouch for it, and the people that got it can vouch for it. So I'm actually getting ready to put another order in. If you want to purchase any tea with me, I'm just charging $10 a bag, and it's 21 tea bags in the bag.
All right, cool. Yeah, just send that information on the in the chat, and we can advertise it on Monday.
Okay.
So, Mr. Beast, what you got?
My final point is, if we look at the school shootings and the war on drugs, we need to find a balance between the old school spare the rod, spoil the child, and this new age hippie bullshit, because this new age hippie bullshit got way too many bodies, got way too many innocent bodies, as opposed to just suck it up and push it in, which just leads to a lot of more self-harm and self-infliction. Rarely does it get to that point. So we need to find a nice balance of assertive discipline, because children need to be children, but children also need to be reminded that they're children. And certain things that you might feel at that moment, you are either incapable, unable, or ill-equipped to process what you need to process. You could have a thought ahead of its time, but don't mean you gotta engage with it at that moment. I want to be a fireman. Okay, you're 10 years old. Does that mean we go take you up there right now and have you take the test? No. We have to be like, remind ourselves as adults so that we can do better with what's left for this generation and the next coming up.
Gotcha. My final point is this. It's great to see both of y'all again. It is great. The past two shows that I did by myself, it was quick to the point and all this stuff, but it's great. When you do a show with a panel, because before all this, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all rock me the long way, y'all knew that I did shows by myself. The Alamonte show I do by myself, but that was like the start. But then when I started doing hashtag Fade to Black and had Cheech on, and then we had Mr. Brad, we ain't forgot about you. And then Beast came on after I did that interview with him, and then Mr. O came on board. We ain't forgot about you, Mr. O. And then Super Wade jumped on. Super Wade living his best way out there and Guinea Bissau. And then Mayo, he comes on when the money
never sleeps.
Money never sleeps. And so it's just great. It's just a whole different vibe with me when I'm just doing it by myself, even though I'm used to it. But when you're used to doing it with the great panel that I have, it gets kind of awkward. It's like, even if I do have something to say, just not having, Teach or Beast, or either just having Beast with me on the show, or having just me and Teach on the show. It's awkward for me now because I'm so used to the dialogue that we have on the show and our different views. So it is great having y'all on the show and just discussing, just talking. But for our new schedule, once again, it's going to be on Mondays from now on until further notice. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, the Wet Network is still at work, still working out the kinks and all that stuff, and getting some of these content creators, these mainly Black content creators, up on there. I already reached out to a friend of mine about the network, and just when we're about to leave. It is. First of all,
I was about to say he only pop up when the money stop moving or is in transition. So this must be transition. It ain't hit the account yet.
So before we do anything, I want to say this to you, Mayo. Happy Founders Day. Because I see you was having fun out there. Anybody calls you on Instagram?
I see it.
Y'all too much. But no, I kind of knew that I was gonna catch either the latter part of it or find out that y'all already off. But I, like I said, running around, man. They just came in, so I'm like, I gotta run to the computer, and the part of it I can get, see my brothers and my sister, and see how y'all was doing tonight. And but definitely, I appreciate you, man. We had Founders Day a while ago, and just I appreciate it, and I missed the vibe. I missed the vibe on here, but just been running, traveling, Africa about 2-3 times already, and I got a couple more left to me next year. So It's my fat sister Anita and I are gonna invite a lot more people in the future to do some stuff with us as well. We kind of did, we're doing some stuff too. I don't know if she's probably shared that with you, but I might wait till the next time I join. But yeah, so I'm excited. And sorry that I came in on the letter end. I miss y'all. Glad I'm here.
Yeah, we happy that you're here, man. We just knew that the cha-ching just stopped, and he was like, "Yeah, I got time today." But yeah, seeing you rocking it out, man. Did you go out there and step with your brothers?
Oh yeah. So that was just us. We would bring some new brothers in. We would bring some new brothers in. That's what that was on this past weekend. And whenever they play the Atomic Dog, I try to do the gentle hop, because I gotta keep my composure sometimes because of public thing. But at the same time, it's in me. So if once you hear that Atomic Dog, it's hard to not.
Because I know around this time it's a lot of fraternities and sororities that's celebrating their day that they were founded, and I was like, and I saw that video, I was like, oh snap, I forgot it is.
Right, no, it is. So the day 2 days ago was the Alpha's Founders Day, but we just happened to have our chapter, one of our chapters in Columbus. They had a 6 young men come into our frat. So so that was their day of joining. So we grew that day. Ours was November 17th, and you probably got enough stuff that day. Everybody was sending stuff to the queues that day because we don't play that about that day. None of us play about that day.
Oh yeah.
Well, I was also wishing the Alphas happy Founders Day. That video, when I sent that out, I used that post for 2 things. One, to congratulate my new brothers who are coming into the chapter, and as well to wish the Alphas, because we're brothers at the end of the day, like the boys, which is one of the things we need to pay attention to more. Like this is my final point right here. Like we need to pay more attention to the fact that like there's the talent and intent, like the boys call it. I mean, we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do, and so we don't have time to be hating on each other and all kind of stuff. So for me, I look at the Alphas, I look at the Kappas, I look at the Sigmas, the Iotas, who are the newest one. We always make fun of them and kid about how young they are. We all are male organizations, and the sororities, the AKAs, the Deltas, the Zetas, and SG Rolls. We have a lot of work to do, and what our work is to roll our sleeves up and work together, show the unity here in building our communities intellectually, and not only worry about giving fishes, but teaching people how to fish for themselves. So there's a lot of work to be done. So that's why I always congratulate them on the Founders Day, hoping that they realize why they joined their fraternity and sorority, not just because they want to party and do all this stuff. We have a lot, and when you're in any kind of this is my last point. When you are in any kind of organization and you need somebody to volunteer, call those organizations. That's what they play. All of them pledge to do that. The people that see them jumping around and doing the show competition and doing all the step shows, they don't know that. They think that it's just a social thing where they're supposed to be hanging out and doing all that. Our organization was all made to better our community. So if you are part of an organization that is not one of those and you need volunteers, call the ones in your chapter. You hold them accountable to what they claim that they want to do. Each one of those, I know my organization does that. That's what we're made for, and I know that the rest of the other organizations have told me that that's what they were made to do. So I'm pretty sure that's what all of them were made to do, is to help our community. But I don't see us meeting at least 50 or 75% of our potential, and I end with that. I know we can get there.
There you go.
You're exactly right. I actually teach a segment on fraternities and sororities, how they began and developed, and the social work that they did, even opening hospitals, running clinics, running food banks, and things that our society was not giving to us. It was found through the various sororities and fraternities in the Black community.
Sounds
absolutely right.
That sounds like a new topic for Monday. So,
there you go.
So Mayo can come on. Obviously, Teach, she gonna be here. Y'all can go ahead, and I guess me and Beast Y'all's gonna have to do our research so we can be ready and know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So
one thing I do know about Qs, they don't play about it. And as long as they body less them, they will chase you to the ends of the earth if you throw that sign up without just due. I have teased several teachers, and they have damn near ripped my head off trying to catch me.
Yeah. I got in trouble many times because I watch people that I know try to do it. And I, because I'm more than mild type. I'm not gonna try to, jump people or fight people and all that. But I just tell them don't do it. They're like, no, you gotta come at them harder than. I'm like, well, I'm like, so I mean, yeah, it's one of the things we're proud about. And I mean, we're proud about a lot of things, but but yeah,
I got you. But yeah, so we got our topic for Monday. We're gonna talk about the Black fraternities and sororities and how do they contribute to our culture and to everything. So once again, like I said, for my final point, it's just great to be around a great panel and to have discussions, dialogues, and views. Do it get a little rowdy sometimes? Yeah, but guess what? We're still here and we still give our views. But other than that, let me get off my soapbox. Let me go ahead and close out the show. As for Money Never Sleeps, Mayo, who slips in at the end of the nick of the woods and all that stuff, ching ching. Then we got top right here. We got Dita Joe, aka Cheech, as well as my boy Peach Johnson and his dog. Thank y'all for tuning in to the new schedule. We're going to be here on Monday. Our topic will be about Black fraternities and sororities. We'd also like to thank Cheddar Boy Popcorn for sponsoring the show. Don't forget, check out their website at the bottom right here with the new flavors that they have as well. Other than that, we're not going to keep y'all too long. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's been real. Catch y'all later. Bye, y'all.
Love y'all so much. Love y'all.
Bye.
Love you, man. Bye.
Bye.